Hi YouTube, Darth here. Amidst all the hubbub of the Star Wars Battlefront open beta, DICE LA is continuing to push forward with the development of the fall patch on the CTE. This weekend, the final release build was put on in the community test environment, and while there really aren't a lot of players around to play it, and there really weren't a whole lot of changes, I wanted to talk a little bit about a few things that did get in and do a quick overview of what we can expect to come soon on the CTE and the fall patch. So let's get started on this brief CTE Sunday. The bulk of the changes made this weekend were some final polish tweaks to the community map project, the jungle map now named Operation Outbreak. This map has been in the works for most of the year, and it will be a separate DLC released with the fall patch when it's released in a few weeks' time. I've said this before, but this project came together really nicely, from DICE's interaction with the community at all levels of construction to the actual finished product. Now, we've been playing it for a few months on the community test environment, but that really won't compare to subjecting it to thousands upon thousands of players when the fall patch lands. I'm pretty confident in the quality of the Conquest map, as I believe that has been the most tested on the community map. Now, when TDM releases with this map, there will be not just one, but two versions of the TDM game mode on Operation Outbreak. I'm not really sure how server admins are going to set that up in the rotation, or if it will have different names, but I'm actually pretty curious to see how that works out. If this proves to be popular, I would love to see alternate map versions on some of our already existing maps, as I can think of plenty of TDM maps that could be made from existing maps already in the game. As for the Rush, Chain Link, and Obliteration game modes, I don't know exactly how much action those have seen on the CTE, but I do know that they have gone through several iterations in Rush with the community feedback. Given that Chain Link and Obliteration are not played nearly as frequently as TDM, Conquest, and Rush, I think the investment in those three game modes was probably the wise choice. On a purely aesthetic level, I think this is probably one of the most beautiful maps that has ever been made for Battlefield. We wanted a jungle map, and we got a jungle map. We asked for this layout, and they gave it to us. Operation Outbreak has a lot of varied and rich micro-environments, from the more civilized areas to the wooded jungles to the temple and the more village-like settings. It's really just a very pretty map that also plays pretty great. And the best part about all of this is that we're getting it for free. DICE LA slipped in two additional tweaks with this final build for the fall patch. First, they fixed a bug where the tank sights would become misaligned after a critical hit. Basically, you'd get hit and your shots afterwards would not go to the correct location. And second, the squad obliteration kill cam now uses the 10-second model to discourage quick deploys. Assuming that testing wraps up this week, it's usually a 2 to 3 week turnaround before we have a patch in our hands. This is usually because of the time required to get through Microsoft and Sony's console certification process. And they have to both wrap up before any patch can be deployed. So that could mean we could see the patch as early as the last week of October, or more realistically, it will probably be in early November. As for the CTE, DICE LA has hinted that the community test servers will start hosting the classic map Dragon Valley once the current patch is done testing. Will we see that Battlefield 2 revival in time for a winter patch? Time will tell, but I certainly hope so, as I was kinda surprised that it didn't make it into the fall patch. Right now, DICE seems to be aiming for a one map per release structure. Will we ever see more night maps? Who knows? But what about you folks? What are you the most excited to see in Battlefield in the coming weeks and months? How do you think the community map project has turned out? Are you looking forward to playing the map in the fall patch? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time, YouTube.